It's Baseball at the Corner. This is the Michigan in Trouble podcast with your hosts, Alex S. Freeman and Luke Jaconis. Hello and welcome to the Michigan and Trumbull podcast live on YouTube for the first time in the show's history.
On YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. How are you, everybody? Thanks to our YouTube subscribers. If you're new here, if you're just coming over from the Twitter, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you get these notifications when we go live. Normally, we've done these live shows over on Facebook, but Facebook is down right now. Breaking news to the YouTube community. If you did not know,
Unbelievable, man! What a time to be alive. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's Thursday. Our boys got a day off today. Our 3-3 Detroit Tigers have a well-earned day off today, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to be doing this show with you as always. And this is our first live show of the season, yeah?
Yeah. We have not gone live yet in the 2021 season. So
I think you said that in the intro, but I wasn't really listening. But that's nothing new here. That's nothing new. We don't really ever listen to each other.
That are used to us know that we frequently don't listen to each other. We just start here to blabber on and on. Those of you that are new to the live show format, feel free to comment below.
Yeah,
we are happy to respond to listener comments all the while. But otherwise, we're gonna chat about where the Tigers are. Luke, if I told you, last week that we'd arrive at this first day off of the season, well, technically not the first day off of the season. There's that weird day off.
I hate that
after opening day that I really
such a letdown. That Friday. But yes, continue.
First day off after two series that the Tigers against Cleveland and Minnesota that the Tigers would be sitting at 500. What would you have said to me last week, and what do you say to me now?
I would have told you to get a job, hippie. That's what I would have told you to say. No, I would have been like, that's great. Look, we talked about this on our scheduled preview episode a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, and this is not knocking the Tigers, but I think we all can accept this fact, they are not going to be, at least right now, that runaway team in the division. And realistically, unless you get off to an insanely good start, we're not going to really see any of those runaway teams in April or May. Maybe in June, you kind of start to see the early rumblings of someone kind of getting off to that start where it's like, yeah, no one's going to catch these guys. Regardless of what month it is, that's not going to be the Tigers this year. And that's okay, because right now what the Tigers are doing, bringing it back to that scheduled preview episode, is they're treading water. And that's exactly what they need to do. They have played good baseball in these first 6 games, and there's been some things I've seen that I've gone, ooh, yikes, yes, still a lot of room to grow in certain areas as well. They are doing exactly what I think they need to be doing right now, which is they're just sticking to the pack. You don't want to be that team that's 0-6, 1-5, and they're not. They're right out. They're right at 500, 3-3 again. We've seen some good. We've seen some bad. Overall, though, for the first 6 games, I'll say I'm encouraged. It's just such a great feeling to watch baseball again. And in particular, I've been really just enjoying watching this lineup because there's a lot of guys that I'm really excited about. And this is a lineup that doesn't even include Riley Green or Spencer Torkelson yet. Mm-hmm. So, and not that those guys will be coming this year. I'm just making the point that this team is exciting right now. Just imagine a year or so from now when we add those guys into the mix. So to answer your question, 3-3, it's a good start. Keep treading water. If this team can just kind of fake it till they make it, and then maybe maybe July or August rolls around and they're still in the similar position they are, then they find a way to kick it into the next gear. Great. If not, well, it is what it is. But 3-3, good start. No complaints here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it. I think that there's one of the things that's nice about this 3-3 is that it, even Monday's game where they sort of got blown up a little bit, it felt like a normal baseball blow up. Like every team now and then is going to just give up a massive heap of runs.
Yep.
You don't like to see it as a fan of that team, but it just kind of happens sometimes. I think there's been some really strong defense that has been played throughout the year so far. this doesn't feel like a team that is ready to roll over and die, which I guess brings us to some of the questionable plays from yesterday's game. That, as we talk about a little, base running in the 6th, I guess, is where we'll go. I in the moment was not upset by the base running. I think the only one that felt like a mistake was Miggy trying to get home on that sack fly, because like that was not a sack fly, just a pop fly. Fairly shallow, and Miggy's not that fast, so I don't know that, I don't know if that's third base coach, if that's Miggy being a competitor, and I appreciate the competitive desire, but yeah, I mean, sending Castro around third, maybe, but like those guys had to execute a pretty flawless play to get that out, and so that's one of those things that I think you want to see the Tigers making those kinds of calls where we're going to force this team to beat us, as opposed to be overly conservative, not get that play in at the plate, because either one of those throws is off by half a second, he's absolutely in. And so it's much better to see the Tigers force teams to beat them as opposed to beat themselves.
No, I think in regards to the base running, the Willie Castro one I don't have any issues with. There was he was on base, Miggy hits a double in the left, there's no outs. You're trying to tie the game up. I'm okay with that. And like you said, they pretty much put the ball in the Twins' court, and you have to give you got to give the Twins credit on that one. They made a textbook relay from the outfield all the way to home plate, so you just got to kind of tip your hat to them on that. They executed. So that one I'm okay with. I was more upset about the Miggy one yesterday than I am today, because I read some comments from AJ Hinch that kind of made me think, yeah, he's right. And realistically, folks, here we are too. It's game 6 out of 162. Now, of course, every game matters. Every play matters, as cheesy as that sounds. And if you think we're crazy, let's look back at the 2009 season when we thought we were going to the playoffs, and then a 1-game elimination loss to the Twins. We were sitting on the couch in October. So every game does matter. There's no doubt about that. The Miggy one yesterday was frustrating for me for a multitude of reasons. As you just said right there, he's the slowest player on the team by far, maybe even the slowest player in the major leagues. I mean, he is by no means a speedster, Miggy. And what frustrated me with the call was not only is he slow, not only was there was only one out, that ball was like a shallow pop fly. So realistically, they could have muffed the throw from right field, but I mean, if they could accomplish the one in left field, I think they were going to be able to get to the one in right field without pretty much breaking a sweat. The thing that I think
he was moving, I think I could have made the throw in from
true.
Right.
The thing that I think was frustrating to me more than anything was that there was one out, Miggy on third, bases juiced, and on deck was Akil Baddoo, the hottest hitter on the team. That was the part that I was kind of like, and not that I want everything to always have to rest on the shoulders of Akil Baddoo, but hey, if he keeps playing like he has these last 6 games, I guess that's how it has to be this season.
Yeah, hitting 500 coming into the game. Like, let's do whatever we can to get him at bat with guys on.
Play the hot hand, so to speak. So I was upset about that yesterday, and even kind of talking about it now, it does frustrate me, because I do think that was a momentum killer. I think once they got thrown out twice, at home plate in that inning, I was like, oh, this just kind of feels like we lost, even though I know it was only in the bottom of the 6th. It just kind of felt like it was the gut punch. That was the kiss of death. AJ's Hinch comments today, though, I had a lot of respect for. And once again, just giving AJ Hinch all the props in the world. I think he is the right guy to lead this team in the future. I am so excited for what he's done in 6 games and all this stuff. I mean, I just think he is the guy, and I could not be happier that we got him on our squad managing the team. But he pretty much made the comment of like, look, Miggy might not be the fastest, but with him running, him trying to tie up the game and put us in a position where we're back in it, we force their hand, kind of like you and I just both said. You never know what can happen with that throw. It doesn't matter if it's 100, in whatever it might, like the yard, like, how the feet and everything, like, it's just like, you just don't know. So, and I respected that from from AJ Hinch, and I think he brings up a good point, and sometimes also too it makes us as the fans think like we gotta chill out a bit. So is what it is.
Yeah, I mean we've seen 6 games into the season we've seen I think 6 different rosters so far get trotted out. So definitely early season experimenting, seeing what can happen, what they can do, how they best work. Miguel Cabrera has already batted 4th on multiple occasions, though it did not take long for him to get back on the 3-hitter line.
Yeah.
But he was there for a bit, and I think that's even just a nice signal from AJ Hinch that it's not business as usual in Detroit right now. Or it is perhaps, and the usual is now a different business.
That's good. Yeah, no, I think that was really my only one kind of gripe. And I didn't know either, for the record. I didn't know if yesterday with Miggy getting thrown out at home, if that was a Miggy call, if he just kind of went on his own, if Chip Hale sent him. And it is what it is. And AJ Hinch again said there's no blame to be put here if it was on Chip Hale or Miggy. Like he was trying to score. We forced their hand. We wanted them to make a 180-foot or 200-foot throw, whatever it might have been, and they got us. They executed it flawlessly, not once but twice that inning. The Twins are a good baseball team. Just because they can't win a playoff game doesn't mean they're not a good regular season baseball team. They're a great regular season baseball team. When it comes to the postseason, it's a completely different conversation. But AJ Hinch pretty much hit the nail right on the head, I think, with his comments today. It was easy to be yesterday to be a little frustrated, but it is what it is. We're 3-3, with the exception of the opening game. They played Minnesota well those last 2 games, I thought. We're 3-3. Well, I mean, again, we're 6. It's hard to do a full-on analysis when you're 6 games into a season. The A's were, what were they, 0-6? I don't think they're finished. I'm not worried about them finishing with a good winning record come season's end just because they got off to an 0-6 start. If it was the Tigers, you're damn right we'd all be freaking out right now. I'd be like, how could this happen? But it just kind of. I'm trying. I guess I have a cooler temperament.
The best team in the league right now has a 5-1 record, and the worst teams have a 1-6 record. So there's not really, much to be done there. And you look at the division, the Tigers are only a game out of first place. Obviously, 6 games into the season, not really a time to be paying too much attention to games back at this point. But hanging out right there at 3-3. 500. The Twins are 4-2. They're a very good baseball team. We expect that. The Royals, they're at 3-2. The White Sox 3-4. That experiment seems to maybe not be working, but again, I can't judge it yet. I know Cleveland down there at 2-3, who we've got this weekend in Cleveland, the first road trip of the year, which will include Chris Fetter. We got that news today.
Yep. Yeah, it was good to see that Chris will be back joining the team. And I'm just excited. Also, the guy's he's so tall. He's like 6'9". Didn't we look that up one day? He's just a gargantuan. So yeah, he's his presence was literally missed in the dugout because people were like, where is Shaquille O'Neal? Well, he's not in here. Where's Shaq Diesel? Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how the presence of Chris Fetter changes anything. We have a couple of moments that we can kind of look back in the first 6 games where maybe some guys needed a pitcher whisperer in their ear to calm them down to what is different in that mound visit coming from Chris Fetter. What adjustments are they making in game that he's seen that perhaps the staff is not seeing? And I think Tigers pitching has been fine in general through this. I think starting pitching's been pretty good. Matthew Boyd, though, and you tweeted this yesterday, Luke, though he took the L yesterday, threw a great game. We'll take that game out of Matthew Boyd basically every time. And when you hold that Twins lineup to only 3 runs, you're in pretty good shape to win.
Yeah, I've been not only so happy for Matthew Boyd these first 2 starts of the season, I've been so impressed because he just looks, compared to his first few starts last season, it just looks like a completely different pitcher. He's in control of at-bats. I feel like he's attacking early on. And in particular, at the start yesterday, while it is unfortunate he took the loss, it was better than his opening day start, in my opinion. And he took the win on opening day. I was so impressed, not only with the strikeout numbers were there, getting high with those high numbers again with 8, because we know at a point in time, Matthew Boyd was like a top 10 strikeout leading pitcher in the American League. But what I was so impressed, and you can probably guess where I'm going with this, gives up no home runs, which has been his Achilles heel. But even more impressive to me, no walks.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. The walks will kill you. I understand that they're a part of the game, but walks will absolutely just eat you alive in this game. I don't mean to sound like a little league coach, little league dad here coaching his son, but like it's the basics. It's the stuff we learn when we're like in the first, second, third grade of just baseball and walks and just the basic fundamentals. So yeah, I've been so impressed with Matthew Boyd. I'm so happy for him, and I hope this success can continue throughout the remainder of the season. And if Matthew Boyd can continue to pitch at a level close to how he's done his first 2 starts, this team becomes a hell of a lot more interesting. Because I think some people were under the notion that Matthew Boyd might kind of be like the guy he was last year, which to those people's credit, you can't really knock him because he had a pretty abysmal 2020. If he can kind of fine-tune and be this pitcher that we've seen through his first 2 starts this season, this becomes a sneaky good rotation because you got a guy like Matthew Boyd. We know Spencer Turnbull's in the similar boat to Boyd as well, where he's got the potential of stuff. We just really need to start seeing him taking those steps forward. You got the 2 rookies with Mize and Skubal, who have both looked fairly good for the most part as they've entered this season. And then Tehran pitched a good game in his debut as well. I'm still not, I don't mean to knock Julio. I still am not like 100% sold that he's the Julio Tehran that he was with the Braves, but I have to at least be interested in his start tomorrow night, given just what he did in his start against Cleveland last week. Jose Urena, I don't know. As you and I were texting through the game, it's like inning eaters are never fun to watch because 2 things are going to happen. They're going to get through 5 innings, let up 3 runs, or they're going to get smoked and not even make it to the 4th. Like those are realistically the only 2 things you ever see with an innings eater. So I don't know. We'll see. If I can give another shout out to a pitcher too, not a starting pitcher, formerly a starting pitcher, and I don't know if I want him anywhere near the rotation with how he's been pitching so far this year, Michael Fulmer. I have been very impressed with Michael Fulmer out of the pen. I know he gave up the home run, I think, to Nelson Cruz yesterday, but I'm pretty sure everybody, even if you're a fan of the Tigers, you will at some point in your life give up a home run to Nelson Cruz. Our day is coming, Alex. We just have to be patient.
It's the exact. I'm not actually sure I could get enough speed on the ball. Like Nelson Cruz is a strong man, but I don't know that I could put enough behind it that he could actually get it out of the park.
Yeah.
At least not in Comerica. Maybe at Guaranteed Rate or Coors Field. He could.
You know who retired Nelson Cruz though? Harold Castro when he pitched an inning on Monday.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Harold Castro coming in to pitch the 9th on Monday.
Yeah. The game was well out of reach. I think by that point in time, it was 15-1. Things were not looking good, so they brought in Castro, and he retired the side, I believe. I know he let up a run. I think he retired the side. Yeah, and one of those outs being Nelson Cruz, who off the bat, I went, this just isn't fair. And then that ball went way, way, way to the wall, and they caught it right at the warning track. I want to say maybe, was it Jacoby? I don't know. I honestly don't remember who caught it, but regardless, he got Nelson Cruz out, so he can, not many Tigers pitchers can say that. So Harold Castro is a rare breed. 0 for 1 for his career against Harold Castro. If we ever see the Twins in a divisional game later on down the road with like the AL Central on the line, and we need Nelson Cruz to be gone, get him out of there, we might have to call in our ringer, Harold Castro.
Bring in Castro, especially if it's the last out of the inning, so he doesn't have to face any more hitters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a rule change we haven't necessarily talked a lot about on the podcast, but I like that rule.
Making them pitch to 3?
You have to face 3.
I don't like it. I think sometimes I'm like an old man baseball traditionalist, and I can admit that. I hate you got to pitch 3. I hate the extra innings rule. I hate the doubleheader rule. There's not much I do like. I will say this: I am a-okay for the universal DH. I will proudly wear that badge and say that.
That's because you're an old man who's an American League fan.
True. Exactly. So yeah, I'm a-okay with they want to bring the DH to the National League. I have no issues with that at all. In particular, the reason why I don't like the 3, I just think it ruins matchups, and then it can potentially. Depending on how innings work out, it could kind of require your closer to have to get a lot of like 4 or 5 out saves. I feel like, I mean, depending on how things shake up, I mean, unless you get everyone that goes just their inning, if you get Matthew Boyd who goes 6, and then you give the ball to Soto and Buck Farmer 7-8, and then you can bring in Garcia or whoever in the 9th. I mean, I just feels like it's going to make your closers, quote unquote, get more than a 3-out save. And then on top of it, I feel like it just eliminates. Oh my God, I can't talk today. It eliminates the need for your specific matchups. I mean, you get the big lefty to come out of the pin like Soto. It'd be great to see him go after his man, but now he's got to pitch to 2 other righties in the lineup. And it just, I don't know. I feel like it kind of eliminates the strategy of it all. And I don't know if I like that.
Well, I don't know if it eliminates the strategy. It just changes the strategy, right?
No, it eliminates it. No.
It's that now I have to equate that if this is not that, I can bring in, so that situation, I bring in Soto to get the last out of the inning.
Yeah.
If he fails in that, now he's got to face 2 more righties, and I lose the matchup. But if he succeeds, I think it just it creates a more interesting moment in those times, and I also think it does speed up the game in a way that is pretty nice. Okay, yeah, and you and I, we don't disagree about the runner on second in extra innings. I don't like it in the 10th. I would much rather see it attach at like the 12th or the 13th.
I am okay with that. And I think I even said that last year during the COVID season. Like, technically, we're still in the COVID season, but, don't actually, not according to Texas, what the Rangers are doing. Yikes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's, boy.
Maron. But, no, I agree with you there. If they said, okay, you go to the 10th and the 11th, it's regular, but when inning number 12 rolls around, then we put the runner on second. I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that. Even if they want one more inning back to the third, because here's the thing. It pretty much eliminates, you're not going to see any games go late for extra innings, which I know is the reason why they're doing it, because they're so hell-bent on going to a baseball game and having the game take about 40 minutes. I think that's like what Rob Manfred wants to do. But
every team is going to end up with 9 rosters, and they're going to play in 9 different fields. They're going to play all 9 innings at the same time,
probably,
and then just add up the scores at the end. That's the new vision for Major League Baseball.
No, I just do. If it was a would you rather have the extra inning rule or the 3 batter minimum rule for relief pitchers, I'd say I'd rather have the 3 batter relief rule. But I don't like the extra innings rule. It just is like. And granted, it very much worked to our benefit with the Akil Baddoo walk-off on Tuesday. But even watching that, and as excited as I was about it, I was like, it also doesn't even make it feel like it's a real walk-off. Like, I'm sure, yes, it is a real walk-off. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like it's a little bit easier because you've got a runner on second. And they would never, ever do this. But like, okay, you want to put a runner on second, almost do like softball rules. Start the count at 1-1, or the runner goes on second, but the inning you get 1 out. There's already 1 out. I mean, they would never ever do any of these things, but it just seems like it's so easy. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. For like, you can either start with a runner on second and take 1 out, or have no outs and not have the runner on second. It's interesting. That's and Matt Shepard pointed this out in the broadcast that was another bit of AJ Hinch thinking ahead towards that extra innings, because we ended up not with Miguel Cabrera on second base to start that inning, because I don't know that Miggy's getting in on that base hit.
No, he would have gotten on the base hit. I mean, I got it. If he gets thrown out at home plate on a base hit, then I think we really need to start considering if it's time to say goodbye to Miguel. Just kidding, Mickey. We love you here. But yeah, no, he would have gotten in on that. I don't know. Maybe I feel like an old cranky. I feel like the old guys from the Muppets today. I'm just complaining about everything. But
there's no Tigers baseball to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. You think on an off day I'd be more chipper, but maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I'm crabby, because there's no game to watch tonight. My day did feel a little bit more empty. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I was not sure. I was actually going to pose this question to you on a off day for the Tigers.
Okay.
What do you as a fan do? Do you watch other baseball? Do you watch a movie? Do you just sit and stew and complain about the Tigers? Because that seems to be what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But what do you do?
You think for being a 3-3 team who played pretty well so far this first week of the season, we'd be more excited, and we are. Just I guess today we're like the old guys from the Muppets. What are their names? Stadler and Waldorf, right?
Stadler and Waldorf.
That's what we are. We're not complaining about movies in a balcony anymore. We're just complaining about Rob Manfred's stupid ass rules. Okay, to answer your question, what am I doing on a day off as a Tigers fan? I had to work, so let's start there. While the Tigers did not have to work today, I did. Yeah, I'll probably watch some games later. I mean, I love the sport of baseball. Obviously, my heart bleeds for the Detroit Tigers. I will always love this team till the day I die. But, it's kind of it is what it is there. But, yeah, I'll watch some games tonight. I'll probably check out the MLB Network. Might go for a run here in a little bit. Probably watch a movie, get caught up on some TV. Who knows? But I'm staying active. But I'll watch a little baseball tonight, no doubt about it.
Nice.
Also, the Masters started today. I didn't even watch any of that. What a doofus I am.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't usually tune into the Masters until the weekend. I let everybody.
Yeah.
After the second cut, that's usually when I'm.
You let the herd thin a bit. I can respect that.
Paying attention, and then
gotcha.
Even then, I don't know that I watch much on Saturday unless there's a particularly compelling pairing that I want to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Gone are the days when, Tiger and Phil on Sunday paired together.
Mm-hmm.
It was must-see television.
Yeah, that's those days are behind us. Still great, still two of the all-time greats. I mean, Tiger, in my opinion, is the all-time great, but Phil is not too far behind Tiger. It'll be good. It's nice to have a day off. The Tigers have played well, man. I mean, I'm not gonna knock them, although we're kind of complaining and whatnot. And I don't even know if we're necessarily complaining. Maybe we're just building up in our minds how much we're complaining, but it feels like we're complaining. Also, I feel like I'm saying that word a lot. Now I'm starting to complain about the complaining. But it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it feels different though. This feels like different complaining than we've been doing normally, where we're like, oh god, is this rebuild over? And like it does sort of in this first 6 games, obviously, big asterisk, first 6 games. We've said that enough on this episode, but it does start to feel like the rebuild is over, not like done.
Mm-hmm.
But that we are no longer, I don't expect to look up in September and be like, are they going to win a 50th game this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I expect to be much more like, are they going to get to 74 wins?
This might be a little too meta considering where we're at in the world. And I don't mean to compare COVID and baseball, but kind of where the Tigers are at right now with their rebuild is kind of where I feel like we are at with COVID. Where we're still involved in it, it's still going on, but you can kind of see the other side of it and be like, oh my God, we might be getting out of this in the not too distant future. So,
yeah,
if that's not a meta simile, I don't know what is.
I don't either.
Bingo.
I literally don't know what that is. No.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time, and I just am looking forward to more baseball in the future.
Yep.
Any big highlights? Anything in particular you're looking for out of the team this weekend as they get Cleveland for the second time?
Here's the deal: we got a series win against Cleveland last weekend. Let's try to do that again. Mm-hmm. I don't want to settle for even if we just get a game, it's an improvement because Cleveland's kicked our asses. No, let's start holding ourselves more accountable, and let's go for series wins. They played very well against Cleveland last weekend. They played well against the Twins this past series. Let's do the same thing on the road against the Tribe this weekend. We got pitchers out there that we're going to get to see Tehran again, so I'm kind of curious to see how he does in his second start. Was that first one just kind of a fluke? Or is it, well, hey, this is the Julio Tehran as he's getting into the second half of his career. This is who he's going to be. Great. Tarik Skubal is going to pitch. I'm excited to see what he does his second start of the year. And then Urania will pitch, I believe, on Sunday. With him, I mean, it can't be worse than what happened on Monday with the Twins. So let's see how he builds off there. And then the lineup too. The lineup too is just fun to kind of see how AJ Hinch is mixing and matching so many of these guys. Here's an interesting kind of tidbit, I think. You noticed right now, I feel like there has been a lot more shuffling around in the outfield than I had expected. So
yeah,
obviously that makes sense because the hottest hitter on the team, maybe in the majors right now, next to Nick Castellanos, what the Reds are doing is just insane on offense. But Akil Baddoo is the man right now for the Tigers. So they're trying to get him to play somewhere. Robbie Grossman, although his average may not reflect it, and yesterday he didn't have a great game, other than that, though, has been an on-base machine, whether it's a hit or the walk, which 9 times out of 10, it's been the walk. You got to have Robbie in the lineup just to get someone on base. Jacoby Jones is a vet who definitely has earned his stripes, can cover ground in the outfield, and can definitely swing it with the bat. We know this. Nomar Mazara has gotten off to a really nice start this season. And I think Victor Reyes is kind of now shifted into that fifth outfielder, but also like if Victor Reyes gets a start, he can help with speed on the bases. He's good in the outfield, had a nice catch yesterday in center, and I know he can swing it as well. So it's like right now they've got 5 guys in the outfield, and it's kind of like obviously you can only start 3 of them. So it's just there's been more mixing and matching with that than I anticipated there being because all 5 of the guys right now, in my opinion, through these 6 games are worthy of starts. Right now, if they don't start Akil Baddoo, I think people might riot. So he's going to get in there. I think Robbie Grossman is a definite to get in there. So then I think the spotlight kind of goes, well, then who's that odd man out? You probably think Jacoby gets the nod because he's the veteran in center, and you can then do Mazara DHing, but then that's assuming you're playing Miggy at first base, and Miggy just started back-to-back games at first base, so I don't really anticipate seeing him at first tomorrow or Saturday, maybe Sunday. I mean, I guess he could. He did have a day off today, so we'll be curious to see how Hinch manages that. But again, it's just these are just like kind of the little think tanks I'm having. Like, man, I feel like we haven't really seen Jacoby Jones a whole lot this season, but I know we've been seeing a lot of Akil Baddoo, Mazara, and Grossman. So it's just again little things you pick up on, you notice. So yeah, I don't know what you think, but that's what I got.
Yeah, that's been interesting. I've also been it's been interesting the catcher situation with Grayson Greiner coming in to catch both the young guys. And I think I was not surprised to see him on the Sunday matinee, as it were, to catch that day, but then to see him again so quickly for Tarik Skubal, that was a little bit of a surprise. But that seems to be the thing. I mean, maybe that's a hint that he might be the guy for the future. We'll see. If you're gonna have him really develop that bond with the young pitchers, that they're gonna work these games together, they're gonna come up that way. Maybe that's the way it goes, which is unfortunate for Jake Rogers, but I think that Grayson more or less won this backup role out of camp, and so now he's getting a real shot at it. I think he's been doing fine. I think it's been going pretty well.
Yeah, I'd like to be. I mean, I think on defense, I'm not worried about Grayson Greiner. It's the offense more than anything. But again, that's the same issue they say with Jake Rogers. So I mean, we could just kind of have to wait and see what happens there. I think Wilson Ramos has been doing a nice job thus far, especially at the plate. I think he's had a couple big home runs just to kind of make his presence known in Comerica. It's not easy to hit home runs in Comerica Park. Just ask Nick Castellanos. He'll tell you, and then I'll tell you again.
He's got some time on his hands.
It's true. And what he's doing in Cincinnati again is quite incredible. Real quick before we wrap up here, quick shout out to a guy that really came into his own last season and thus far I think has carried over nicely, Jeimer Candelario. And not only is he doing it defensively at third base, he's getting clutch hits, which is great. He's had some really great at-bats, though. And I know we kind of all fawned over the whole Robbie Grossman hype, because what we saw Robbie Grossman do in those first few games was quite remarkable with how many walks he took. But he's had a couple of really nice at-bats these past few days. And I just, regardless, I know yesterday he had a long battle. I want to say it was in the bottom of the 8th that ended up with him striking out. But it was a good at-bat. He's making these pitchers that he's going up against earn the win against him. So I've just noticed that with Jeimer. It's kind of crazy to me to think, and again, I don't want to overhype the 6 games, but taking into account what he did last year and with what he's done thus far this year, Jeimer Candelario, I'm so amazed with, has single-handedly, I said this last year, single-handedly asserted himself into the conversation that he is a guy that is here to stay. Because I feel like going into last year, Jeimer was kind of under the spotlight where it's like, well, we've had this guy now since 2017. What are we doing here? So I don't know. I think he's just really played well. Now, also to play devil's advocate, he had to play through a 60-game season last year, and he's 6 games through this season. So not even 100 games yet. And here I am saying, well, he's part of the future. Let's see how he does the remainder of the year. But with what we've seen since last year and so far this year, you have to be impressed with Jeimer. You cannot deny what he has turned into as of late, and especially on defense. Boy, oh boy, that man, what he's doing at third base is impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's he's become one of those guys that I just feel is part of the Detroit Tigers lore at this point. Put him in the hall as a as a Tiger. I think it's going to be a great potential future for Jeimer. It'll be great to see where he continues to go this season. It's a good situation.
Yeah, no, it's good. And I all jokes aside, although we were being crabby, if we were being crabby, who knows? We'll leave it to the listeners and viewers to decide. We're excited about this team. They're 3-3. They've played well. Let's keep it going against Cleveland this weekend. They've had our number for many years. I'm not content with just one series win against them last weekend. I want another series win this weekend. And I think, given the guys we're going to throw out there on the bump to start, where the lineup has been, I like our chances. I do. I like our chances, and I got a prediction for this weekend. I think Jonathan Schoop is going to have a big series this weekend. He really hasn't done much up to this point. I think he's going to kind of break out of that shell this weekend. I expect a couple nice games from Schoop, and I'm going to call it now. I think he hits a bomb at some point this weekend.
Love to hear it. Love to hear that. All right. Well, folks, if you have found us over here on the YouTube channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe to the channel. I think it's a subscribe and an alert over here on the YouTube. So join us over here. We may go live over here. We sometimes go live on our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at @Mish_Trumbull as well, where we'll announce any of these live shows. And as always, the show will hit your audio feeds Monday morning and your video feeds either here on YouTube or on Facebook right around lunchtime. So you can have lunch with us on Mondays if you like looking at our mugs while you eat lunch. And we will see you on Monday, folks. And hopefully the Tigers have a great weekend. See you, Luke.
See you, buddy.